Welcome my guys, in today's video we are taking a look at a mod that adds some fire and ice bombs, some pretty cool arrows and a new bow as well. So if you enjoy this type of content and want to see more of this, make sure to drop your like and subscribe, and especially that subscribe, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if you actually enjoy the content, you might as well subscribe. So without more delays, let's jump into the video. The first thing that this mod adds, it's this bow. I was thinking this was a crosshair when I first crafted, but it's actually not. It's a bow, and as you can see you have double lines to kind of pull. So I think this bow will be able to shoot some pretty powerful weapons. A bow that shoots weapons. Yikes! But yeah, some arrows. And I know there's some new arrows as well, and they kind of have different effects. Basic, but they are very nice and they kind of change up the game a little bit. So before I show you all the arrows, I'm gonna show you how you craft this bow, and of course you already see that this is made out of black metal, so let's jump into that. Okay, of course I'm using sheets, but it is what it is. It's called Item X Bow, and it's made of 10 crystal, 60 black metal, 8 fine wood and 20 linen thread. So yeah, overall the pierce damage is 72, so I don't think that's too bad. And now I'm gonna show you a bunch of arrows. I'm not gonna show you anything because they kind of repeat. I'm just gonna show you the ones that I think are more interesting, and I'm gonna show you what they do. So let's jump into that. The first arrow that I want to show you, it's a heavy bone arrow. So the heavy bone arrows, I think they do more damage than the normal bone arrow. So as you can see, the bone arrow has a slash damage of 17 and a pierce damage of 17, and the heavy one has a slash damage of 32 and a pierce damage of 32 as well. The materials kind of change a little bit to kind of justify the arrow to be bigger in order to do more damage. So overall I like that idea, and what you see here you have on obsidian, needle, flint. This will repeat in a lot more arrows, and the fire and the ice ones I'm gonna show you because those ones are pretty cool. So let's actually test this one against just the normal footing. So I'm gonna aim at this guy. Of course this is gonna do sneak damage because I have ghost on, so yeah, there we go. So overall it's a pretty cool addiction. It's gonna change what arrows can you craft and how much you can do, and you're kind of not stuck with the same arrows over and over again. And I know that a lot of people actually use a bow and arrow, so this actually is a pretty cool change. This next arrow, it's pretty cool, and I'm not gonna say the name until you actually see the effect. So I'm gonna aim at this guy. Boom. As you see, it's a AoE poison arrow, and it's gonna do exactly that. Whenever you hit the target, it's gonna explode and do AoE damage, and in this case it's doing poison damage because it's a poison arrow. So I think this is pretty cool, and if you need to get rid of a couple of monsters that are gangbanging you, it's a pretty useful tool to have. So, and you see the animation is the animation of like the hose bomb just kind of popping off, or maybe it's even the attack of the what is the name of the third boss? It doesn't matter. Let's just jump into the next arrow, whatever. So this one is the heavy poison arrow. I just want to show you so you can actually see the animation, because it feels like the smoke, the particle effect of the arrow is like larger and it goes faster. So I just wanted to show you that. And as you can see, like it's a much bigger AoE smoke, and I think that's worth mentioning. So yeah, that's it. Let's just jump into the next one. So now we have the heavy frost arrow or ice arrow. So it's gonna do the same thing as the other heavy poison arrow, but there's another one that's pretty cool. So it's called the big ice, and I'm kind of curious to see what this is gonna do. So I'm gonna wait a bit for this guys to actually or I'm just gonna spawn more. There we go. So there's kind of like a stack there. I think the AoE will do a good damage here, if it's actually a AoE damage, but we'll see. Yeah, it is. That is pretty cool. It slows the target and it's doing frost damage. This is pretty nice. Wow, that's a pretty cool arrow, my guys. Wow, I did like this arrow very much because it slows the target and does damage in a really big area. So the next arrow, it's the heavy fire arrow. So let's actually show you what it does. I think you kind of know by this time. It just does more fire damage, honestly, and it's just stronger. And you kind of can see that the animation, the particle effects are much like deep. So I think that's overall a pretty cool thing. So yeah, I just wanted to show you the arrow anyway, because I think it's pretty cool to actually see that the particles are bigger because the arrow is bigger. And the other one, it's the big fire. So I actually want to see what is this big fire that they're talking about. So let me aim at this group of Fullins here and let me shoot. Ooh, barbecue! I want barbecued goblins. That's pretty nice. This is really good, because if you need to get rid of a lot of targets at the same time, these arrows will be amazing. They will save your life. Really, that's really cool, man. And the animation is really nice. The fire isn't really like bad looking. It looks pretty nice and pretty real. So yeah, overall, what a good thing. I enjoy to see these things. There's a couple more arrows like stone core arrows and like obsidian and needle, so I don't think I'm gonna show you that, because you kind of understand the idea of the heavy arrow and the normal arrow. But yeah, I think it's worth to mention that this adds a fire bomb, so I'm gonna press 5, which is where my fire bomb is, and I'm gonna throw at them. There we go. So it's pretty much the same effect as the what is it called, the arrow, but it's feeling like it's doing way more damage, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And we also have the fire, the ice bomb. And let me show you that. And it's pretty much the same thing as the big ice arrow as well. But yeah, I think the bombs are doing much more damage than the arrows were. But that kind of makes sense overall, because, you know, they are bombs. So kind of get that idea. So yeah, overall I think like the mod makes sense, adds a bunch of new arrows, and like it's just gonna be pretty cool, especially now using the magic overhaul. I think you can have a lot of fun combining these two mods, because, you know, there's a class that has the archer, and you might be able to shoot these arrows through the bow that the class has. So yeah, and the special thing that I found out on this mod is that the video is over. Subscribe.